Yeah, what's happening, everybody? Today is the 21st of December, the winter solstice, which means first and foremost that the new barrister and mann joints are out. Get them. Also, the vetiver, heather, and clary sage is being discontinued. The final run is being sold right now. So if you like that one and you don't jump on it this go around, then you are out of luck. So today I'm going to be going with the Rooney beehive. It's been a while since I used this brush. This actually is my smallest brush. I'm going to go with this one. In here I have a puck of Oxford and Cambridge by Czech and Speake. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Man, I love the way this stuff smells. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right to it, huh? So I hope everybody's been well. It's Christmas time. I hope everybody is enjoying, just enjoying yourselves, enjoying your company, spending time around a bunch of people that love you, because that kind of is what it's all about, huh? Don't really have a whole lot to talk about, I don't think. For those of you that have been watching these videos for a bit, still no news on the job front, which is getting a little concerning at this point, seeing as how, it's already the end of the year coming up, and it will have been 6 months, so I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll all work out. I'm doing my part, but yeah, I'm doing my part. It's been a while. It's been a long time actually since I've used this soap. This actually was my favorite for quite some time, and I still absolutely love this scent. It smells really, really, really good. I remember when I was really big into like colognes and stuff. I got a split of this. I got like 20 milliliters or so. A split of a 100 milliliter bottle, and I was just blown away. And this was when I didn't even know anything, That lavender hit me like a ton of bricks. And the mint, and this stuff is just incredible. And you can smell the Velobra base, because this, of course, isn't made by Czech and Speake. It's made by an Italian company called Velobra for Czech and Speake. And you can smell the Velobra base. Oddly enough, I don't really smell it as much in this soap as I do in the old Art of Shaving tallow soaps and the Velobra soaps themselves. I have a puck of the Velobra Fougere. Today's blade, I'm actually going to be going with something a little bit different than normal. It's been a while since I used these. Going with good old voskhod. Always been a good blade. Above the tie as per usual. S2, here we go. So I was watching somebody's video the other day, and they were talking about how they got started, in doing this sort of thing, which got me thinking, exactly how it was that I got here. Like I mentioned before, I used to really be into fragrances, colognes and all that. And that's actually where I first heard of, this whole thing. I heard of like all the brands, like Taylor and Trumpers, and I heard of Czech and Speake. Actually, that's how I came across them. That's also how I first got hip to Penhaligons. Was through that world. And I knew that it was out here. I just never really, I just never really wanted to try it. I was younger. Life was a lot different for me back in those days. We'll just leave it at that. Life was a lot different for me back then, so I didn't really want to, to take an interest in something like this just wasn't really the sort of thing that I was looking for back then. But you know, I always figured that one of these days I'd give it a try, and I figured I'd probably like it. Especially since I've been shaving my head for a number of years at this point. So I knew it was just a matter of time. Fast forward to about a year and a half ago or so, something like that. A friend of mine named Peter Paterman, he actually made the switch, and he was talking to me about it. Talking about how much he liked it and how much money he was saving. So at that point I was like, fuck it, man, I'll give it a shot. And I did. And the first few shaves were super rough. I was bleeding all over the place. I remember I took photos to give them to, to show some people, and they just laughed at me. But I decided to keep with it, you know. I didn't go back to the 5-blade Gillette thing. I can never remember the name of that thing. I don't know why. Not that it matters at this point, really, but Fusion, that's the one. The blades are nice, very smooth. I was reading somewhere that somebody had mentioned that given the current exchange rate, these Russian blades that are being sold, by sellers in Russia, like particularly eBay and stuff like that, the exchange rate is very favorable for the American dollar right now. So if you're able to actually pick up some of these blades from like a reputable seller, you can stand to save a decent bit of change by doing that. Anyway, that's just a bit of a heads up or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I continued with it. My first razor, if I'm not mistaken, was a Merkur 38D, excuse me. And it was fine, whatever. I mean, on those first few shaves, it sure did carve me up pretty nice. But I mean, hey, that's user error on my point because I didn't know what I was doing. So I stuck with it. I used that. I was using that razor. My first shaving cream was the same as everybody else's, Taylor of Old Bond Street Sandalwood, because I love sandalwood. That's like my single favorite note as far as like perfumery is concerned. So of course I had to go with that. And their sandalwood is not really a straight sandalwood. It's a very it's a cologne-y sandalwood, It's not just a soliflor, so to speak. There's other things that comprise the finished product as far as scent notes are concerned. Man, this blade is super smooth. So these things are Teflon coated, and I mean, I don't know how much of a difference that really does make. I don't know if it's just the blade itself, the metallurgy involved or what, but man, these blades are always just so super smooth. I need to pick up some more of these when I can. So yeah, I had the 38 HD. 38C, whatever the long version of the 34C, long handled version of the 34C. Because, you know, I was used to the longer handle because of the various Gillette, you know, shavers with the proprietary blade cartridges. So I just felt more comfortable using a razor with, you know, with a longer handle. In retrospect, I actually prefer shorter handles these days. You know, my above the tie razors, the only handle I have is the Atlas handle, which is the shorter one with the really nice barber pole knurling, which is just, man, that thing, it makes me smile every time I look at it. And there's just not really a price that you can put on that feel. Soap is holding up well. Lather, I should say, is holding up well. I've gotten really spoiled on these artisan things, man. They're so, so nice. I actually was able to get rid of some of my creams. Actually, I got rid of all of my creams. My friend Peter, actually, that I mentioned earlier, he's really into creams. He prefers them to soaps. So I gave him pretty much all of my of the creams that I still had left after getting rid of most of them anyway over the, you know, over the months and stuff. So he's enjoying those. I also hooked him up with one of my soaps that I hope he's into. It was a Barrister Mann, actually. So yeah, and I was actually, I think the absolute last of my creams, I was able to strike a trade with somebody. I gave them my three, I had the Scottish things, Castle Forbes. I gave him my 3 Castle Forbes creams, and he, in return, gave me, the motherfucking 3 of the black labels, Barrister Mann black labels. All of them except the peppermint one. Peppermint one just doesn't really sound too interesting to me, but I'm sure at some point I'll find a way to get it. A bit of a Barrister Mann collector myself, as evidenced. So Christmas is coming up. Most of you guys, or a lot of you guys probably, if you don't live with your family, if you don't have your own family, I should say, you're probably on the road / already at your destination, or will be in the beginning of the forthcoming week. Hope everybody travels safely. May the road rage avoid you if you're taking the roads. Steer clear of dummies. Avoid 2-lane interstates. They're the worst. Because the thing about 2-lane interstates is a lot of times these people that are on the 2-lane interstates, they have no idea what the intended function of the left lane really, really is. And then you find the people that are going below the speed limit in the left lane, which is just it's not a good look. Actually, it's a jerk move. That's pretty well done up here. Skin feeling nice after this soap. You know, again, this isn't you know, this isn't like on the level of like, you know, the one of the artisan soaps that has, you know, somebody behind the company that is just constantly doing, you know, research and development on, you know, improving their product and making every dimension of it better. But I mean, for a big company, this is an excellent soap. And to that end, if you're able to find one of the old school art of shaving soaps that are tallow formula, they'll say they're made in Italy. They're actually made by Velobra. They're very, very good as well. I have a puck of the sandalwood tallow and lavender tallow. They're both quite good. Art of Shaving Lavender is a very good lavender. It's a super sharp lavender. I love it. Those of you out there that don't like lavender for some silly reason, you're definitely going to want to stay away from that one. Speaking of lavender, I cannot wait to get the Barrister and Mann Black Label lavender. It's going to be a good one. I used to have a little tiny lump of it. I don't remember who it was that sent me one before as a test before it was released, but it's very strongly scented, and of course it's a Barrister and Mann soap, so that means it's top of the food chain performance pretty much. Not to mention the guy that runs the company is a really good dude, Mr. Carius William. He's a good dude, man. Certainly knows what he's doing. Speaking of which, I'm happy to report that Leviathan sold more than the Nocturne. So next fall, Leviathan will be pitted up against a new thing to duke it out and see what sells better, and we'll return next week. And there's my phone. Alrighty, it's done there. What I was going to say, something about Christmas. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. This Christmas isn't as nice as last year's. Last year I was really looking forward to Christmas, and it was good, man. I really liked it. This year's a little bit different, but that's okay. Just gotta make the best of what's going on, you know. So I'm gonna spend Christmas Day. I'm gonna give back a little bit on Christmas Day. That should be pretty good. Also, one of my cousins is going to be shipping out to the Coast Guard, which is pretty cool. My brother actually was in the Coast Guard, which is how I got that Detroit mug that I soak my brushes in, the big Detroit coffee mug. And speaking of Detroit, I was reading earlier this week a couple of things. Dan Gilbert, who is the chief executive officer of Quicken Loans, which is headquartered in Detroit. For those of you that still watch television, if you ever see a Quicken commercial, you'll see Dan Gilbert talking in his office, and if you look like past him, because he always like talks in this, or he used to, I don't know if he still does, but if he still does, he'll talk from his office, and if you look over his shoulder, behind the floor-to-ceiling windows in his office, you'll see the city of Detroit, downtown Detroit. But anyway, so Dan Gilbert bought a few more a few more buildings in downtown. He buys a lot of the buildings in downtown for various things, and he bought a few more buildings. Also, there's one of the buildings. It's called the David Whitney Building. Opened this week as an Aloft Hotel. I don't remember who owns that brand. I think it's Wyndham. Owns the brand Aloft, Wyndham or Weston, something, one of those two. It opened as an Aloft Hotel. They poured a lot of money into the building. I think somewhere around $100 million to renovate it and get it up to speed, which is nice. It also has the benefit of being like right next to a people mover station. People mover is the elevated train that goes around downtown, which has always had a bit of a rocky story because of the automakers trying to bury it, because they're automakers. They don't really support mass transit, even though it's just a circulator. And it really won't affect their bottom line in any perceivable manner. But I mean, there were cons back then, so that's what they did. So yeah, there's that. I really hope that I'll be able to go sometime next year. I don't even know if I'll be able to go to the festival, because I have no idea what life is going to be like in May next year. Hopefully it'll be good, but I don't know. We'll see. Also, I recorded a mix yesterday. Stupid camera. I recorded a mix yesterday, and it came out pretty well. It came out all right. I will leave a link to it at the bottom of this video. So if you want to download it, just drum and bass. It's not perfect, but I actually was really into the mix. So there's a lot of energy in the thing, particularly towards the end. Got myself pretty nice here. I'm kind of having to reevaluate my neck grain situation, because I just don't think that I have it figured out. And I've been plotting on my little from Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm plotting on giving him a starter kit. He's 16 years old, and the poor kid, his face is always cut up. His face is always cut up from shaving because he's just now starting to learn and all that stuff. But I'm not really allowed to give gifts. You know, we're not allowed to give gifts to our littles in the program. So I don't know how, it looks like I may not do it, but I really want to, so we'll see. We'll see. Also, if anybody has one of those fine lather bowls, let me know what you think of it. I'd love to know, because I wouldn't mind having one, I don't think. Because even though I have a scuttle, like, I never use it as a scuttle. I always use it as a bowl. So, yeah. It looks like the dimensions seem to be about the same dimensions as this bowl that I use, or the bowl in this scuttle. So I think that may end up working out for me. And I can put the scuttle away until I actually want to use it as a scuttle, because the thing is huge. And the fine lather bowl, you can actually like hang it on the wall. Static hole technology. Wow. No irritation on the mustache area. That's a rare feat. Get my bangs here. And that's pretty much going to be it there. So yeah, this is going to be the last video that I can do before Christmas. So I really hope that you guys enjoy yours. Again, it's a time to excuse me. It's a time to be around the people that care for you, you know? So make sure that if you're able to, spend it with those people. And this is actually a pro tip that I learned from somebody. I don't remember exactly who, but all this excess lather that you still have after your shave is done, you can use it to clean your sink with, and get all of those nasty ass hairs, stubble I should say, that is just, you know, chilling in the bottom of the bowl. So I don't remember who it was that gave me that tip, but I'm glad you did, because I do that a lot. After shave, I still got some errands to do, and I gotta go outside, and it is December, so it's not particularly warm outside. So I don't think I'm gonna go with anything with menthol. Let's go with kyovu. Smells like Seville, which is pretty complimentary. Actually, it's not really complimentary to Oxford and Cambridge, but that's okay, because there are a lot worse things in this world to smell like than Seville. And if you don't have this, you need to get it immediately. Have somebody get it for you for Christmas. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but lime, oh, excuse me, vetiver, heather, and clary sage from Barrister Mann is discontinued. I think I did mention it actually. No, this feels familiar talking about it. But I know I didn't say that it's going to be replaced by vetiver santal in the tallow formula. Will told me actually that I was the person that kind of brought that scent combination to his attention, and he liked it, so he went with it. So that was cool. So yeah, VHCS, excuse me, on its way out. Vetiver santal tallow on its way in. Eric Burgos out. Merry Christmas. I'm going to try to put out a video next week, last one for this year. So hopefully I'll be able to see you guys before then. Merry Christmas. Have a good weekend. Enjoy. Peace.